Today we're going to go game by game, matchup by matchup, and look for those sneaky starts. Those jabroni players who will surprise us in Week 8. Those players that we're not wanting to start, but we have to start. This video is good for people in deeper leagues. This video is good for people who are struggling setting lineups and just want to make a gamble somewhere. Daily fantasy football for some cheap players to gamble on. Traditional redraft leagues, maybe not unless you're absolutely hurting, but it's also good to look at these matchups and think outside the box. But before we dig in today, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're helping you set your lineups this week with the must-start videos. We're helping you with the waiver wire every single day. We're deep diving the trending players with the You Need series every single day. On top of that, Ric Flair's watching you and you do not want to disappoint him. Click that button. Stop missing out. First player we're looking at today, we're looking at Manny Wilson. We're looking at the Green Bay Packers. We're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Running backs can score points in bunches against the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is going to be a good opportunity for them to do so. Manny Wilson getting work in this offense. He might surprise you. 10, 11 fantasy points. Josh Jacobs is going to be the dude. He is forecast to do well in this matchup. The Packers are going to be moving the football. This should be a game that there's a lot of fantasy points scored. And if you're looking for a guy to surprise you in this matchup with how the Jaguars defense has been playing and allowing fantasy points to running backs, the second running back, Manny Wilson, might get some extra touches, might get some advantageous situations in this game. We're looking at 49 over under. Vegas is saying, hey, the ball's going to be rolling. Points are going to be scored. Why not Manny Wilson? We're looking at the Titans. We're looking at the Detroit Lions. DeAndre Hopkins gone. We got a 45 over under here. And this could be a tougher game for the Titans in the passing department, like it always is, because of quarterback play. Also against the Detroit Lions. But the Lions offense could push the pace. We ain't looking at any of that. We're just hoping and praying here, honestly. And Tyler Boyd's been getting a lot of run. He's been running a lot of routes. He's getting a lot of targets. Calvin Ridley's questionable right now. Tyler Boyd might get you a 10-pack. Maybe even a 12-pack this week. But due to targets and opportunity, that's a guy to look at. Now we're looking at Ravens and Browns. Now you're wondering why I don't have Cedric Tillman up here. It's because a lot of people's already looking at him. That's not sneaky enough. Jerry Jeudy's not sneaky enough. Elijah Moore, we talk about him a lot with the Browns. He runs a lot of snaps here, and you just see this. From 93% to 64% and everything in between. He's on the field, getting a lot of work. 6 targets last week. Maybe that could equate to fantasy production. The Ravens create weird game scripts, and this could be a weird game script. It has to with Jameis Winston back there. And maybe Elijah Moore will get some money touches this week. Alec Pierce. We got the Colts and Texans. The ball's pretty concentrated with the Texans. We kind of know where the ball's going. We look at the Colts, and that's a shit show where the ball's going in the passing realms for these wide receivers. But Alec Pierce, deep ball city. Anthony Richardson will look his way when the game script's pushed, and it could be pushed in this matchup. We got a 46 over under. Alec Pierce getting those deep targets. Something to look at. He has hit this year a few times, and we're due for another bounce back game. Kayshon Boutte is getting more work by the week. He's getting opportunities. 41 over under. Drake May's there to push the rock. Last week we got 4 PPR fantasy points. The week prior, 15. Maybe we can get in the end zone. Maybe we can get some extra targets. He was talking pretty big in the media the other day about wanting more work. Maybe we get it. He is a top-tier talent, especially prior to that injury at LSU. And we were ramping things back up this whole time. And what if that happens? A dart throw play, and Yoshi is one too. But we got upside in this matchup. We got a 48 over under here. We could see some fantasy points scored on both sides of the ball. Eagles and Bengals. And ancillary pass catchers could sneak some production here in a matchup like this. If the Eagles can push the pace, if the Bengals have to push with them. And Yoshi here, as an ancillary wide receiver, could get an extra target or two. Could be a sneaky option for you. Ray McCloud. We had a slow week last week against the Seattle Seahawks. We're rolling back up against Tampa Bay. Last time we played against Tampa Bay, we did well. Look for him to get targets in this game. Look for him to get work underneath. Look for this game to be a little bit weird. After all, Chris Godwin out, Mike Evans out. The 46 over-under is an indicator for that. This game would be well over 50 if they were in. McCloud should be getting the short targets here. Malik Washington. I just wanted to go so deep that if you're in a 20-man league, you got something from me. Malik Washington, Tua's back. He's been running routes. He's been getting a little bit more workload. If you're desperately looking for somebody as a surprise, if you're desperately looking for somebody that's super cheap in DFS, I'm not projecting him to hit. This is a decent matchup. The ball's going to be flowing. It's going to go to your normal pass catchers here. Tyreek Hill for the Dolphins. But he is also a very good rookie wide receiver who just increased his stock dramatically during the Shrine game and in the offseason leading up into the NFL Draft. This is a very good technical route runner who people are sleeping on. That could do something for us if the dominoes fall. This is a very deep play. Zach Charbonnet, not so deep play, but I got to give you something. If you're in a 12-teamer, 14-teamer, or whatever, if you're looking at your backups, we're going up against the Bills. They give up fantasy points to running backs. Zach Charbonnet gets work in the passing game. Of course, Kenneth Walker show, but if it wasn't, Zach Charbonnet would just be in the must-start video. 47 over-under. This could be a fun one. Kimani Vidal. Something happens to J.K. Dobbins. If this game script gets out of hand, Kimani Vidal could be getting some extra work. He's explosive. All he needs is just one touch, and he's hitting for you. Odunze. We're getting the work. We're getting the opportunities. We're getting the targets. We're playing against the Washington Commanders. 43 over-under. It's kind of low. But in the passing department, this one could get out of hand. We got Jaden Daniels hurt, but it could still get out of hand. Look at Odunze. Let's see what happens with him. Justin Watson, if you're needing a deep threat here, a guy that could go YOLO or NOLO for you, this is your guy. He stretches the field. He runs deep routes. All he needs is that one target to go the right way, and he's going to splash for you. He's done it a few times over the course of his career, has not yet this year. That only means he's due, and he's running more routes due to the injuries, and it's against the Raiders, a team who's always in weird game scripts. Audric Estime. They're looking at using him more, and they're trying to get him more opportunities. It's the Javonte Williams show. We're not saying he's taking his role. If not, he would not be in this video. The Carolina Panthers give up fantasy points in bunches to running backs. Audric Estime might get additional opportunities. Bryce Young is going up against an exceptional, tough Broncos defense. If the Broncos get up and they want to roll with Estime on an extra series or two, this could equate to fantasy production. Ricky Pearsall. We've been talking about this wide receiver like crazy all week. The targets are concentrated on both teams here, so you really don't have a sneaky player. Ricky Pearsall, the rookie, is very sudden. Got a lot of routes last week. Got some targets. We might build upon that against the Cowboys. Looking at the Steelers here, you got Jaylen Warren. Russ was cooking last week, and we're going up against the Giants. Teams can cook against the Giants. They are not expecting this to be a high-scoring game. This could be a game script that breaks, especially if the Giants just keep making mistakes early and they're having a hard time pushing the rock downfield and Russ just cooks. Jaylen Warren might get some additional opportunities in this matchup. His snap share slowly increasing by the week. Those are the sneaky starts for week 8. We're not expecting these guys to hit. We just want to look at some players that could surprise us to help our lineups. Most of these guys are not going to hit, but this is a video to help those guys in deeper leagues and to help those guys who are having trouble setting their lineup, who's got some tough decisions to make, and that's why we do this every week. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next video.